What's up, everybody? You're very welcome along to Monday night's late night agenda. I'm your host, Craig, and as always, this is your show, folks. You let me know what you want to talk about. Obviously, tonight's probably going to be a little bit of an Anfield agenda injury support group. They're coming thick and fast on not even joking, Reds. Obviously, we want to talk about the injury to Jordan Henderson. We want to talk about the injury to Andy Robertson. We want to talk about the Mohamed Salah situation and lots of other bits and pieces in between. Questions, I know, I can see there's loads of them there already. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go through as many of them as I can and try and reassure people, maybe inject some positivity into the proceedings, because it's not all doom and gloom. Where there is an injury, where there is a problem, there's always a solution, and hopefully we can find these solutions and get the 3 points of the weekend. Right, people asking about Goldbridge. Unfortunately, Mark was double booked. He forgot. He'll be here tomorrow instead, so I do apologise for that one. But when you're dealing with lads like Mark who are busy, I can understand completely how he double booked or slipped his mind. So Goldbridge will be joining me tomorrow, and we'll be having a chat around VAR and stuff like that as well. So make sure you're with us for that one. And I do apologise about the delay. It was a bit of a last minute switch. I was actually doing a Leicester City Fan TV stream at the time when I got the message. So, again, apologies on that one, but we will get to it. Right, is Matip injured? To the best of my knowledge, no. Matip isn't injured, mate. Now, obviously, there's going to be people who are wondering about the entire situation. So there's going to be stuff that people are just going to put stuff out there that's going to try and wind us up now. We know Matip's the last man standing, but I'll give you a good laugh on the Matip situation, actually. There was a post in an article called, there was a post in what am I looking for? In a fucking media company called, I don't know if they're a newspaper, I think they're a Portuguese newspaper called Sport, that suggested that Joe Matip could be going to Barcelona in January, or that they're interested in him in January. I mean, come on. I mean, he's our only fit defender. There's no way he's going anywhere in January. The really interesting thing, though, for me, folks, with regards to transfers, and of course we'll go through that as well, is the article from David Ornstein in The Athletic, where he suggests that Liverpool may not do any business in the January market. Now, when I read that, I almost fell off my chair, I'm not going to lie, and I'm hoping that maybe this is Liverpool, putting the negative vibes out there to try and keep costs down, or to get a deal done in the background or something like that. But again, that's not what we want to be reading in this current situation. Did I watch I'm a Celeb last night? I absolutely did not, mate, no. You look like you're fresh off the training ground, said Brian. Do you know what I mean, mate? I'm out there doing bits. I'm doing nothing, mate. I'm not going to lie, I'm lazy. But this top did arrive today. I did buy it during the week. It was a sale on Nike, actually, last week. They had, I think, 25% off for members. So keep an eye out for stuff like that as well if you're looking for any Liverpool stuff. Right, what have we got? Again, of course, I can't talk about tonight's stream without mentioning Ray Clemence, who sadly passed away. And I mean, when you talk about great goalkeepers in Liverpool's history, Ray Clemence is right up there at the top of the list. Obviously, played for Spurs, represented England as well. Came up against one of the best goalkeepers of his generation as well when he was playing for England in Peter Shilton, and that obviously limited his caps. But sincere condolences on behalf of all of us to Ray Clemence's family, and of course to Reds all around the world. And may he rest in peace, and look, he is an absolute legend. For those that are unaware, and I'm not sure, I can't confirm that this is how he unfortunately passed, but he was battling prostate cancer since 2005, I believe. So look, nothing but love to the Clemence family, and again, sincerely saddened by the passing of Ray. Again, a lot of people in our chat today just, backing up what we've said. I mean, nothing but love for Ray Clemence out there amongst the Liverpool and Spurs contingent. Best keeper we ever had, said Pat Moynihan. I mean, I'm 39 years of age, so I never really got to see Ray Clemence playing. I've seen clips, I've heard so many stories about what a great goalkeeper he was, but of course what a great person he seemed to be as well. So, 2020 has kicked us all in the nuts repeatedly, but again, as many people have said, may he rest in peace. What have we got? A lot of people saying he was a lovely man as well, and absolutely, you've heard so many stories from Tomo and lots of others as well, talking about Ray Clemence and what a remarkable and what a kind man that he was, and a supportive man as well. Right, look, ladies and gentlemen, let's move it back around to the weekend. So let's start with ROBBO and HENDO, shall we? The latest to the Liverpool ever-growing injury list. Now look, I'm being optimistic here, and I'm thinking that Scotland qualified, which is brilliant. We're all delighted for Scotland. Well done to ROBBO and any Scottish people watching. Couldn't be happier for you, genuinely. And I'm hoping that the ROBBO thing is just kind of, well, we've qualified via this route, so we don't really need the Nations League. And I'm hoping that we're going to, this is more, yeah, he felt a little something, if you get me, but not enough that'll keep him out of the weekend. And I'm hoping that it's the same regarding El Capitan Jordan Henderson as well, that, he felt a little something, but hopefully. Now, the news did come out that Raheem Sterling and Jordan Henderson have been released by the England national team back to their clubs, so Hendo will be going back to Kirby, obviously, to receive his medical treatment and hopefully getting ready for the game at the weekend, because the last thing we need is more people dropping out, more people picking up injuries. The Mohamed Salah situation, which I'm going to touch on as well, that seems to be, as always, batshit crazy with this type of stuff. It's never straightforward. Just when you think he's 100% ruled out, then you get this stuff from the Egyptian sports minister, I think it was, that again, I'll touch on that in a few minutes. Hex said, I really hope Fabinho was back. I honestly believe that the key to this game could be Thiago. He is back training, which is great news, but that doesn't necessarily correlate to him definitely starting at the weekend or being available for selection. I think he holds the key to the game against Leicester for us, and we'll build up on that as the week goes on. We'll have Lee Chappie, Jamie Vardy lookalike for those that don't recognise Lee's name. He'll be coming on for a chat as well. Lots of stuff. We'll build up to the Leicester game properly, but tonight let's just go through the injury situation and see what we can figure out. Fernando said Thiago is back, which is class. I mean, to me, off the top of my head right now, I'm looking at maybe an Alisson, a James Milner, Fabinho hopefully is back alongside Joe Matip, Robbo at left back, fingers crossed there, but Costas Tsimikas is available. Of course, if Robbo isn't fit to start, which is why you went out there and bought such a good left back in Costas Tsimikas. So, if Robbo isn't available, it is a knock, but not the worst, because we've Costas there. Moving into midfield, then you're hoping you're going to see Hendo, Fabinho. Worst case scenario, Hendo, Thiago. Worst case scenario, you may see Gini, Thiago, and that's saying worst case. Gini coming off the back of a couple of goals for Houlden as well, and a great performance during the week. Then you're looking at maybe who's going to play. Is Keita going to play ahead? I would imagine Keita. Look, it's going to be three of these four in midfield if you ask me. Hendo, Thiago, Gini, Keita. I can see it being three of those four, depending on how we set up. Now, everything gets changed if Mohamed Salah becomes available. If he doesn't, you're going to see the front three of Diogo Jota, Sadio Mane and Roberto Firmino. But again, fingers crossed, because there's still another round of international games to go through. Do we have any news on Oxlade-Chamberlain? Yes, I actually do have some news on Oxlade-Chamberlain. It looks like he's starting to return to light ball work, or at least reading into a social media post he put up, it looks like he's starting to progress a little bit further along. He put up a post with a picture of a football and I think a sand timey thing, whatever they're called. So look, it's looking like Chambo could be on the road back as well, but it doesn't look like it'll be anytime soon. Maybe give him a few more weeks, and you want to make sure he's fully ready to go. Again, I've addressed the Goldbridge thing for those who were coming in. Unfortunately, Mark had to rearrange because he double booked, and he'll be here tomorrow night. So 8:45 tomorrow, Mark will be joining us. And, I hope you're not disappointed if you are here for Goldbridge. I hope you stay for a little bit of Craig, and maybe we can win you over. Gini scoring again for Holland if he only was prolific, if he was only this prolific for Liverpool. I think it depends where he's played as well. He probably gets more license with Holland to get forward. And again, lovely little nod to Virgil van Dijk as well when Gini scored for Holland, because he's a class act. The squad is getting worse and worse every day. Look, man, I fully believe that we're going to get through this little period now. It's Liverpool at the minute who are picking up injuries, and I think we've had 14 or 15 injuries. In fact, I have the list of injuries here that I'll go through that Liverpool have picked up this season, unfortunately. So bear with me, folks. I have a lot of stuff here to get through. Right, so here's the list of injuries that Liverpool have had so far this season. Joe Gomez knee injury, Trent calf injury, Fabinho hamstring, Naby Keita muscular injury, Joel Matip muscular injury, Thiago knee injury, VVD ACL, Alisson shoulder injury, Sadio COVID, Thiago COVID, Costas thigh injury, Jordan Henderson quadriceps strain is what it's down as, Joe Gomez another knee injury, Joe Matip muscular injury, and Chamberlain knee injury. That's 14 or 15 injuries there, folks, already into this season, and we're only getting started. We're about a quarter of the way through the season. It's not perfect, but we've got a deep enough squad that I think we can navigate our way through this, and some of those are going to be coming back now, and a lot of other clubs are going to be seeing players testing positive and a few injuries picked up as well. So I'm not trying to cry poor mouth here. I'm not trying to say Liverpool have it harder than everybody else, but do you know what the worst news of the day was for me, ladies and gentlemen? Personally, the worst news today came when Connor told me that David Coote is going to be in the VAR room for a game against Leicester. If you don't know who David Coote is, have a look into it. David Coote is the man who was responsible for some rather iffy decisions, shall we say, in the Merseyside derby when Michael Oliver was refereeing. I'm sure you remember. David Coote was also the referee that Robbo was giving a mouthful to coming off the pitch at one time, asking what's the point in having you guys there. And David Coote, to me, shouldn't be anywhere near a Liverpool game in any way, shape or form. So, that's another worry for me heading into the game against Leicester. Of course, Leicester, very good side, in great form as well. They have their own injury crisis, so, again, we're not alone in this. Neco Williams at right back, again, potentially, but I'm thinking for the experience on the pitch, probably James Milner, mate. I mean, Neco, I always pronounce the gentleman's name wrong. I think we'll see James Milner at right back, personally. I think Klopp will try and... we'll be trying to keep Jamie Vardy quiet. He'll want professionalism. He'll want leaders on the pitch. And you're going to get that in spades from Jimmy Milner. Puskas is a god has gone for Alisson, Milner, Fabinho, Matip, Robbo, hopefully. Thiago, hopefully. Henderson, hopefully. Jota, Firmino, Mane. That's pretty much the same, mate. That's exactly what I'd go with. Coot the Flute, said Colin. Love that one, mate. We need... Kelvin Phillips. I mean, I think he's all right there at Leeds. I know the Leeds fans, Joe and the guys over at All Leeds TV, think very highly of him as well. But look, we'll leave him where he is. I wanted to have a chat around the January window, or do you want to go Mohamed Salah first, folks? So whatever, it's your show, as always. If you want me to talk about Salah, put it in the chat. If you want me to talk about the transfer window, let me know and I'll go into whichever one of those topics you guys want me to talk about. If you are new to Anfield Agenda, please do hit that subscribe button, folks. Drop a like on the video. Shout out to our sponsors, Boyle Sports, as well, who have a very busy week ahead of them with the Grand Slam of Darts that's currently on as well. You'll see that they're the sponsor of that, and we're proud to be associated with Boyle Sports. Mo, right, Mo, love it. This is it, Mo the man, love it. All of the Reds want to talk about Mo, right? So here's where we are with the Mohamed Salah situation, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, as we said a few days ago, I think it was around 3 p.m. in the afternoon, the Egyptian FA put out a post to say that Mohamed Salah had tested positive and would be unavailable for the games. That was pulled down around an hour later, and a different post went up that said 3 players from between the 2 national sides that were playing had tested positive. Yada, yada, yada. We go on. It turns out Mo has, unfortunately, tested positive. But then we got this post today, or this release from, I think it was the Egyptian sports minister, who came out and said that he'll be retested on Thursday and that he's very confident it'll be a negative result because he's showing no symptoms. And then, of course, Liverpool fans are wondering, could we get him back in time? Would he be available for the Leicester game? Now, what I'm thinking here is, just because he's shown no symptoms doesn't mean we may not get another positive result. He seems to be asymptomatic. Now, of course, I'm no medical expert, but I'm not hanging my hopes on Salah being available for this game, folks, if I'm being honest with you. I think the club will look to do the cautious thing, and they should, because the last thing we need is, there's an argument around the type of testing as well, by the way, and Liverpool and the Premier League will have quick turnaround tests available for players coming back. I think this is the first period where the Premier League have been able to get a whole batch of these tests so the players can be tested much more quickly rather than the 24-hour turnaround that was there beforehand. So, yeah, I'm not... It's the health ministry. Excuse me, Ramez. I apologise if I got the source incorrect there. I don't know, man. I don't know what to. I'm not a medical expert on this one. I hope, like all of you, that Salah is available, but if I was to put 50 quid on it, I'd probably edge it towards him being unavailable. But as I said, I am not a medical expert. I'm only kind of regurgitating what's been put out there. Playing Minamino on the right, said Samuel. Exactly, mate. Another option for the gaffer there. Takumi Minamino, well used to the system now. It's right to say he still has a bit to prove, and yeah, Leicester's a perfect occasion for him to maybe go out there and prove that. So Kloppo will be looking at the lads on the training ground. He'll have a fair idea of what he wants to do, and obviously we have to have a look at Leicester as well. We said they've got 4 or 5 players out with injury, but look, Jamie Vardy would be the worry there, wouldn't it? Any news about Trent? Jake, nothing new, mate, that I've seen. We're still probably expecting a couple of weeks maybe after the international break ends for Trent to be back, and he can't come back soon enough, can he? Absolutely. Again, like Hendo, he's one of those players that when he's missing, you notice it, he's not there. How is the whole Irish team? I've no idea, man. A couple of positive tests there as well. Spurs look like they could be without Matt Doherty because he provided a positive test, but look, I'm baffled still that this international break went ahead. I mean, this is the third one since the start of the season. I think 8-9 games maybe being played. Some of them had to be done, like the playoffs. I mean, I absolutely understand that, but the likes of that Ireland-England friendly and stuff like that just seems ridiculous. David Ford said, we're okay in the middle of the field. It's the defence that we haven't got enough experience cover. I agree, mate. We are quite stacked with central midfielders. But there are many players throughout our squad who can play in numerous positions. Hendo could drop back to centre-back in a pinch. Fabinho could drop in at right-back if needs be. And that's one of the beauties of having the versatile squad that we do. Again, it's not absolutely ideal, but you kind of navigate your way through these tricky moments and you have to try and find solutions. I mean, we've got to remove the emotion from all of this stuff and just try and look at it in black and white, and Klopp will do that, and Klopp will figure out who he thinks will be the best 11 to go and get that result against Leicester on Sunday. And for those that aren't aware, by the way, the game has been moved to Sunday night at 7:15pm UK and Ireland time, and that game will be shown on Sky Sports. It was originally scheduled for the Saturday kickoff. Robertson isn't serious. Look, I'm guessing Hendo and Robbo, particularly Robbo, will be okay. I mean, I'll be flabbergasted if Robbo doesn't start, put it that way. I think this was a little bit of a nod from himself and the Scottish FA. They qualified and no need after that. That's what I'm taking from this anyway. Base Fakes in Space said Jones may get some minutes. Again, if I was a betting man, I would edge towards Curtis Jones getting minutes at home in the Champions League against Atalanta midweek, mate, rather than this game against Leicester. I mean, this is a big game already in the season. And of course, we're going for 64, I think it is now, unbeaten at home in the league, and we want to get that record. Fake Recoils, how are you, mate? Welcome in. Can Tottenham finish above Liverpool? I mean, this is where I'm made to look arrogant again, but my answer would be no, mate. They won't finish above Liverpool. But again, that doesn't mean to be disrespectful towards Spurs, who look like they're heading in the right direction. No argument about it. But I think it's between Liverpool and Manchester City. I've said it from the start. I'll say it again. And I think that's where we'll end up at the end of the season. There will be teams that may shock us. Leicester, Chelsea, Spurs. I mean, United still have a lot of work to do, obviously, to climb up. But, they're showing some type of form. I just can't see it. I really can't see Spurs finishing ahead of Liverpool. And if Spurs do finish ahead of Liverpool, I fully expect them to be winning the league. Is Thiago back for the game? It's looking that way, James. But, man, I've been hanging beyond hope here week after week, hoping that Thiago's available. Sometimes you wake up in the middle of the night, you're thinking, did we really sign Thiago? Did that happen? We've only seen the fleeting glimpses, obviously, against Chelsea in the game against Everton. But, yeah, I'm hoping, man. I'm really hoping he's ready. WGRCG Gaming, welcome in, mate. Logan, welcome into you as well. Paul, we echoed that sentiment about Ray Clemence earlier on, mate. We, nothing but love, and of course, it was very sad to hear of his passing. Spurs have had easy fixtures so far, and if Kane gets injured, which he will, let's be quite frank about this, Kane does pick up injuries throughout the season, they'll drop off. Now, they do, of course, have a trio there. They've got Son, they've got Kane, they've got Gareth Bale. Two of those three, rather injury prone. Bale looks like he's lost a yard of pace as well, starting to come deeper to pick up the ball. So, look, I don't want to be disrespectful to any team out there, but I think if you finish above this Liverpool side this season, you'll win the league. That's my genuine feeling. Henderson and Robbo out with Salah. Again, Rob, not confirmed that Henderson and Robbo are out, so I don't want to be out here putting out fake information. Again, it's been confirmed that Henderson's been released by the English national side back to Liverpool, so his injury will be assessed, and the same with Andy Robertson, he'll be assessed as well. The Irish team, look, mate, don't even get me started on what's going on with the FAI and the Irish team, Gar. It's that rant is for a whole another day, mate. Look, ladies and gentlemen, I just want to give a quick shout out to our memberships. If anybody wants to sign up to join Anfield Agenda FC, hit that join button. It's $4.99 a month. You get everything you see on screen there, the badges, the custom emojis, access to our private Discord group, which is where we talk about transfers and stuff like that as well. We give you guys the insight into stuff that we don't share on our streams and social media, and then let you make up your own mind. So again, if you want to become a member, hit that join button. UEFA's Nations League is so pointless. Do you know what, Daniel? I'm not a massive fan of international football, but I kind of get the idea of the Nations League. It's certainly better than a whole lot of pointless friendlies that nobody gives a damn about. I think the Nations League is probably the best way they could have gone about it, mate. So while I'm not a massive fan of international football, I will give a nod to the Nations League. Joel, thank you for the super chat, mate. Said, would you take Jack Grealish at Liverpool? We've been debating this in our Discord group. Shout out to Yilber, who's a massive Jack Grealish fan. And you probably seen some posts on Instagram, Jack Grealish earlier on in his career, bigging up Liverpool, talking about Stevie G, hoping that we beat Manchester City and stuff like that. So, would I take him? Yes and no. I can't. He was England's best player against Belgium by a country mile, by the way. He was brilliant. The more the game went on, the more he dictated the game and got into it. But this is going to sound weird, but I don't like the stop-start nature of the way he gets fouled so much. If that makes any sense, I think it would disrupt flow. Not the lad's fault that he's getting kicked and injured as much, although he does invite the challenges and sometimes he can skip away from them. But I find it frustrating to watch him at times. But I wonder maybe if he went to a different side, maybe if he played under a Jurgen Klopp or a Guardiola or a more attack-minded manager, whether that part of his game would dissipate and we'd see more of just the creative spark that Grealish can provide, because he is phenomenal in tight areas. He is phenomenal at inviting challenges. His skill set is phenomenal. But, you would have to say how much money would he cost as well. But look, he is a quality footballer and he seems to be only getting better and better as well. So, difficult question, but because of the stop-start nature of the way his game plays, I don't know. That's the honest answer, but no doubt about his ability. He's coming on leaps and bounds. Right, what music do I like? Bit of everything, man. A lot of rap and hip-hop anyway. Really old school stuff. A little bit of Garth Brooks. I'm pretty open-minded. The only thing I don't really listen to is heavy metal. It's not my cup of tea. Right, what else have we got? Is it irresponsible for international fixtures to have went ahead this season with COVID and already congested fixtures? Look, Callum, it seems ridiculous to me, mate. And look, I don't want to be just knocking international football, but I get annoyed by the regular 2 international breaks that we get in September and October when seasons start. To ram home another one and to have 2 and 3 rounds of games in the international breaks, I think it's ridiculous, to be honest, mate. I mean, you can talk about Champions League and Europa League going ahead, but, I would say that clubs are still remaining in their bubbles at that point. Very well-drilled squads in the Premier League, medical team, all the support staff that's required, knowing the players' daily routines in and out and stuff. So I would think it's a different argument, but yes, I would agree. I would rather they didn't go ahead, other than the absolute necessary ones. So the playoff games probably had to be done, get them played at one point. And you got to finish the Nations League as well, but it's just not great. Some of the friendlies, particularly, are just beyond a joke. Why? In our squad of players, last man standing, look, we're not too bad. I mean, we're getting players back. I mean, it's the centre-back spot that we're really struggling with to get the lads fit and available. What else is there? Craig, top 5 transfer targets. Right, let's move on to transfers. Actually, sorry, there's a super chat from Rabadan, which I want to answer before I forget. Feck international football, Norway hasn't qualified in 20 years. And, again, just, pushing our own content here. We've got Jan Agafjortov coming on Thursday. It'll be a pre-recorded interview, so he won't be live, but I will stream live on Thursday night. I'll ask Jan about this because, of course, Norway were unable to fulfill one of the Nations League games because the government, I think, wouldn't let them travel because of what's going on in the world right now, and I think a positive test or two. So I get where you're going, Rabadan. Look, I'm Irish. We've not had a whole load of international success, although I'm still living off the memories of Italia 90, mate. It's a shame that Wilder can't accept Fury beat him. It's so bad, Dara, isn't it? So bad, mate, when you're hearing excuse after excuse after excuse coming out from Deontay Wilder's side of things, and Fury just wants to keep busy and get a fight in, so yeah, it is. Do I know who Bobby Madley is? As in the referee. Isn't there a couple of Madley referees? Bobby Madley. I know that there was Madley that refereed in Scotland, there's a Madley that refereed in the Premier League, and then there's one of the Madleys had a bit of a... How do I phrase this? A bit of publicity over the last few months. So yes, I think I know who Bobby Madley is, mate. I think we're talking about the referee who I think referees at championship level, if my memory's right. What score do you think it'll be in the next game? I went for a 2-2 prediction, mate, for the Leicester City game. I know that's not what people want to hear, but I think that could be the score. I'm hoping I'm wrong. Obviously, I'd want us to go out there and win, but I expect Leicester to be full of confidence. I expect them to really come and have a go, and I hope it's an open game. And if it's an open game and it's end to end, look, I'll always back our boys to get a result. Who do you think? Not ready on that one. Do you think Robbo and Hendo will be fit for Leicester? I'm a lot more confident on Robbo than I am on Hendo. Maybe because of a bit more information around the Robbo situation. And I quite frankly don't have anything you guys don't have on the Henderson situation. So I'm hoping beyond hope they're both available. But, you know, Robbo to me is the more important one for this game. If Thiago's fit, again, that unlocks a lot of things for me with possibilities for this game coming up against Leicester. You predicted 2-2 last year and we won 4-1. Let's hope the same happens. Absolutely, midgetly. I think the one you're talking about, though, I predicted that for the away game at the King Power. And I usually, you know, against top sides, give them a goal or two when we're playing away from home. This one at home, my prediction of 2-2 is probably a bit more pessimistic than it should be. But of course, I'm hoping we'll get a result like the one you spoke about, mate. Has Javier Mascherano retired? Yes, he has retired, mate. I think Connor put a post up about that on our Instagram account. Our Instagram account, by the way, is really close to 27,000, so thank you for your continued support on there. If you want to give us a follow on Instagram or indeed on Twitter, it's really straightforward. It's just at Anfield Agenda. And hopefully we see you over there as well. Again, just a reminder, Mark will be joining me tomorrow night at 8:45 where we'll be talking about VAR, transfer windows and stuff. But I want to carry on and have a little chat around the upcoming January transfer window, particularly around the centre-back situation. But I'll just go through one or two more comments before we do that. Who's your least favourite player from Liverpool? Not touching that, mate. Why would I start knocking our own players? I don't have any least favourite players from Liverpool, mate. I love them all. If Hendo and Milner don't start, who's captain? Maybe Matip? If Klopp goes with the most senior player, I would say Matip or Alisson, but I would probably say Matip. But I envisaged Milner starting, so... Kasper Schmeichel looks like he's okay, by the way, Ruth. He did take a knock playing for Denmark. There was reports that he was actually knocked out cold, but the report that I read today said that he'd had a good night's rest and he was back on the training pitch today, so I would imagine Kasper Schmeichel will be available. Can we see a Craig dance? Not now, but in the future, defo, man. I'm no worries about embarrassing myself and busting out some dad dances. Full on Jurgen Klopp after we won the Champions League there. You know, the old dad shuffle. That's all you'll be getting out of me. Alex Gomez, how are you, my friend? Say, good evening, Craig. Hope you and the family are doing well. We're all safe and good, thank you, buddy. And I hope your loved ones are the exact same. Milner got to be captain. If he's playing... and Hendo isn't, you'd imagine Milner. Jim Milner's the vice captain, so it's not even you'd imagine. If he's playing and Hendo isn't, he'll be captain. Do I know who Huddersfield Town, the football team, are? Yes, of course I know who Huddersfield Town are. Who's my least favourite player for Manchester United? Paul Pogba, without a shadow of a doubt. Because if I had to look at that lad week in and week out after breaking the world record fee to sign him, I would be, well, I would say pulling my hair out, but obviously I can't be doing that. Does Vardy worry me? Yes, he does, mate. He does. He worries me because he's a pest. And I mean that in a complimentary way, in that he doesn't give you a minute on the ball. And Jamie Vardy cannot be involved in a game for 88 minutes, but you give him one opportunity, bang, he scores. What I'm really worried about, and I touched on it earlier on, was David Coop being in the VAR for this game. That massively worries me. I'm almost looking at us going into this game -1, if you get where I'm coming from. I'm expecting a shitty decision, a dodgy penalty, something against us with Coop and VAR. Do I think Liverpool should go for Grealish in the future? Again, Paul, this has been one of the banes of our Discord group. So again, if you're a member and you haven't yet come over to our Discord group, if you are a member, you'll see the link to our Discord group in the community tab of our YouTube channel. If you're not a member, you won't see it. And if you do want to join, as I said earlier on, you know what to do. Apparently, Fabinho and Thiago are playing against Leicester, mate. That would be, Adam, that would be the best news, man. I'd love that. I can't wait. I'm so damn excited to see Thiago really settling into this Liverpool team. I think it's going to bring a smile to all of our faces when he's back there, keeping things ticking over, moving the ball. I'm hoping, as I said, I hope he is available for the weekend. Right, let's have a chat around the January transfer window, ladies and gentlemen, because there's mixed signals coming out around it. Again, I'll point you back to the article from David Ornstein in The Athletic, where he states that as things currently stand, and things can change, Liverpool are planning for next summer and don't really have any plans to go into the market in January. Now, you can view this in a couple of ways. You could view this in Liverpool kind of putting negative stuff out there because they don't want to be fleeced for the price of a centre-back, and they might be trying to do business, and nothing wrong with that whatsoever. We heard similar about the summer. I'm not really going to be doing too much. Some people saying we weren't interested in Thiago. I think we will be looking at the centre-back situation. I'm not saying we're guaranteed to sign anyone because, I don't have that information. But you'd want to be looking at a centre-back. You'd want to be looking at Upamecano, who, by the way, I don't know if we want to say this is a bit of negative news, but the guy who used to be involved with Leipzig, Ralf Rangnick, he came out and said that he expects or wouldn't be surprised if Upamecano ended up at Bayern Munich, and knowing of the family, of course, as he does, he thinks that that's a move that might appeal to Dayot Upamecano. And Bayern Munich, a very good club, good resources as well. They would have no problem hanging off, I bet, till the summer, and then getting that release clause for Upamecano, £40 million, and trying to bring him there. United are looking for a centre back as well, so they've been interested in Dayot Upamecano. So then you ask yourself, who else is there? Well, you've got the Kabak stuff, of course. Pau Torres is the name that I've been putting out there. One or two other Liverpool fans, but honestly, I've not seen concrete interest in him. Who else have we spoken about? Ben White is somebody that Liverpool are tracking long term, and that might lead into what Mr. Ornstein was talking about with regards to the summer or waiting to get the right player. And I've long thought that Ben White is somebody that Liverpool would want to sign, and I know for a fact that they're tracking and scouting. I can even go a bit further and tell you that from those reports, it seems that one of the areas that he's ranked negatively in was his aerial duels, due to the fact that I think he's about 6'1", which, look, I'm only 5'10", so he's much bigger than me, but for a centre back in the Premier League, that's on the lower side of where you'd expect him to be. A few other names. David Alaba has been thrown around as well, of course. Would make sense. You can tick that box very easily, but from what I've read, again, Bayern look for about 30 million in January. And if you're to look at his wages of about, I think it's about 200 grand a week, 220 grand a week, something like that, on the high side again for our club. I don't know. I just wonder, why wouldn't we went for Alaba in the summer? That's the way I'd ask this one. Alaba wants to go to Spain if he does leave Bayern Munich. Now, I still think he'll sign on with Bayern Munich, if I'm being honest with you, but reports put out there suggest that he wants to move to Barca or Real Madrid, but Liverpool, City, and a couple of other clubs have been interested in him. Anything else I've missed out on with regard? Do you think we can buy Tuanzebe? No, we don't do business with United, and United don't do business with us, mate. It's no, we won't be signing Tuanzebe. Nicolas Sule, the German Van Dijk. I think we missed the boat on Sule when he moved from, I want to say, Schalke to Bayern. Monster of a fella, by the way, Nicolas Sule. He is quality as well. But yeah, I've not seen anything to suggest that there is a genuine link there. But then again, I hadn't seen anything with regards to Diogo Jota or Fabinho, and we all know what happened there. What do I think about women's football? Can't say I watch a whole lot of it, but I'm glad to see the game progressing. I'm glad to see it getting more limelight. I'm glad to see the opportunities are presenting itself for more young ladies and women to be able to go out and earn a living from playing football. I think that the Women's Premier League has come on leaps and bounds, but I think there's still a long way to go, but why not? Do you know what I mean? If that's your cup of tea, if you want to go and watch the ladies playing football, it's a great opportunity to inspire the next generation of young women coming up as well. But as I said, I'm not going to lie, it isn't something I watch a lot of. I did watch the World Cup and I enjoyed it. I really did. But yeah, it's not really my cup of tea, if I'm being honest with you, but I don't disrespect it in any way, shape or form. Right, what else we got? Sorry about the truth, but the actual quality is trash. I don't have a Scooby-Doo what you're talking about there, Ash. I've no idea, mate. Javi Martinez was somebody Adam said. What about the Ruben Semedo guy? So let's have a little chat around that link for a minute. I'm trying to remember the facts off the top of my head here, but So Ruben Semedo would not pass Klopp's, I want to say, fit and proper person test, but that's not what it really is. So he was involved in an incident. I think he was playing for, was it Villarreal at the time in Spain. I think we're going back to 2015 or 2018 here. He basically received a 5-year suspended prison sentence and an 8-year ban from visiting Spain because of an incident that involved a man being beaten, held at gunpoint and robbed. So no, I can't imagine that that's a player that Liverpool would be looking to. Again, I think it was a bit of lazy journalism there. He's at Olympiacos now. Obviously, we brought in Kostas Tsimikas from Olympiacos, so there's obviously a semi-decent relationship there with that club. I just can't see him being a Klopp type of player, mate. I mean, I had questions around Ozan Kabak because of the spitting incident that gave him a 5-game ban, so I'd be shocked. I'd be shocked if we went for Semedo. Would I take Dybala at Liverpool? Yes. I think Dybala's a fantastic footballer. Is Jamie Carragher coming out of retirement? You know what, mate? Yeah, we could probably do worse. 2015, said Rob. Thank you. Kevin De Bruyne's favourite club is Liverpool. Yeah, I mean, it looks like it. There's a lot of players that have supported Premier League clubs growing up, but have, moved and gone elsewhere since. Liz said, hashtag play like a girl. I'd like to see a man have a baby and play 4 weeks later. Okay, I'm not sure what that's in relation to or aimed at, Liz. I mean, I wasn't knocking women's football in any way, shape or form. If anything, I was bigging it up, but I don't know if you've taken offence to something I've said there. I don't mean to cause any, but I also didn't say anything about men being able to have a baby and play 4 weeks later, mate. I mean, I've 2 children of my own. I've seen my wife give birth to both of them, and she's got nothing but my respect for it, because I don't know if I'd be able to go through with it. But again, I don't mean any disrespect. It's just not my cup of tea. Do I wish Lovren stayed at Liverpool? No. I think it was the right time, right move. Hindsight, it's easy to have 2020 vision in hindsight, but I think it was the right move. Now, the question of should we have replaced Lovren, that's a whole another conversation. I think that came down to a calculated risk by the club, and look, it's bit us in the ass. Who would have known that we'd have lost Joe Gomez and Virgil van Dijk to long-term knee injuries? Liz said, wasn't aimed at you, Craig, in the chat, people thrash women's football. Look, unfortunately, Liz, there's going to be some misogyny and stupid, cheap-ass comments towards women's football. There always is. You get it towards women's pundits as well, who, by the way, I think have been a fantastic addition to football football media, and I think have provided some great insight into games. But yeah, there's always cheap shots, Liz, isn't there? And look, I'm sorry that that's the case. It shouldn't be in the world that we're living in right now. Yeah, I agree with you on that, Liz. It's ridiculous. What have we got? Phil Jones is the GOAT. Asked, which one still plays, Daniel Agger or Martin Skirtle? Look, to me, Daniel Agger was the better centre-back, hands down, mate, when he was fit and available. Camera looks a bit soft. I've no idea what the fuck that means, mate. I can't say it's soft as a technical term I've ever heard of with regards to the camera. The camera looks alright to me. I mean, I'm not seeing, apart from obviously the green around my head, which you get with the green screen behind. All I want is a message to be read out. Eno, how are you, buddy? Lovely to see you in again. I hope the Darlington is treating you well, Ian, and I hope that player of yours that had to be revived is doing okay and well. And as I said the last time, mate, I wish him lots of love and a speedy recovery. Do I think Liverpool will be looking to avoid spending in January because of the inflated prices, since we definitely be looking for a centre-back in the summer? It's a good shout, mate, and again, with football still being behind closed doors right now, clubs are going to look to put anything they can off on the long finger, because they're going to want to keep as much cash flowing through the club as possible. One thing to keep an eye on is the situation with Red Bull Acquisition Corp. Basically, the Billy Bean fund. Billy Bean, along with I can't remember the other dude's name, are looking to buy 20-25% stake in everything that FSG own, all FSG's portfolio of clubs, the FSG Racecore, the Fenway Racetrack, their NASCAR team, the Boston Red Sox and Liverpool. If that deal comes true, that could free up around 600 million quid for FSG. Now they could do what they want with that. They could take it as dividends from the club. They could reinvest it back in other things. And there are other projects that Liverpool have coming down the line. I mentioned before that the money for the Anfield Road end has already been put aside, and that's in escrow. And there are other projects that Liverpool are looking to do as well in and around the stadium. Of course, we've just moved into the fantastic new AXA training complex in Kirby, and that costs 50 million quid as well. So, you know, there's interesting times ahead for Liverpool, and I don't think we're going to be all that short of money, put it that way. I think with this potential acquisition, we're going to see a lot of money freed up. We're going to see Liverpool maybe become the head of a pyramid of football clubs, something along the Red Bull route, or maybe even the Manchester City or the City Football Group, whatever they're called, the way they do things. Somebody asking about thoughts on Ryan Reynolds buying Wrexham. He's only half of who's buying Wrexham, mate. Rob McElhenney as well is the other half of that consortium that has bought, I think, Wrexham. I think they're that far along. Great news. I'm sure Wrexham fans are delighted with it. They voted overwhelmingly in favour of the purchase from Ryan Reynolds and Rob McElhenney. If you don't know who Rob McElhenney is, he's the guy from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. He was one of the writers and creators of that show, and it's a fucking belter of a show, by the way. If you don't watch It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, give it a watch. But yeah, it's great, and I hope that they do good things with Wrexham, and I hope they bring them back into the Football League, and hopefully there's bright times ahead for Wrexham. What have we got? Who's laughing now after the 6-1? Oh, me, mate. I'm absolutely still laughing at that fucking shambles of a club, Manchester United. Yes, I am still laughing. I don't give a shite about our 7-2. That's an anomaly dead and buried, but I'm absolutely still laughing, mate. And I'm going to continue to laugh and laugh and laugh and laugh. I'll be getting married next year to Alex Gomez. Nice one, buddy. I hope it goes well for you. Lots of love. Connor's working really hard, by the way, on a Diogo Jota emoji that should be available for the weekend against Leicester. So if you're a member of Anfield Agenda FC, that'll be another emoji you'll have use of. Who's laughing? How's your backline? Christian, I'm going to give you a little pat on the head, mate, because you're jumping up and down like a little petulant child looking for a hug. And I'll give it to you because I'm a nice dude. Don't worry about us. We'll be sound. Our backline will be sound. Just concentrate on United or whoever it is that you support, mate, because we're tickety-boo here, mate. We're defending champions. We're doing all right, Christian. So don't worry about us. I know we're in your head, mate. Deep, 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 deep in your head. I know you go to bed at night just dreaming, thinking about Liverpool. I will probably say to you as well, if you're a Manchester United fan, there's a lovely article out today that I think you should give a read to that shows that Manchester United have spent £1 billion, £1 billion since Sir Alex Ferguson left. And how has that gone for you, mate? Has that provided all the success that you'd hope £1 billion would have? But hey, we'll just be us, mate. You know what I mean? It's tough being the most successful club in English football, Christian, but somebody's got to be there, mate. You know what I mean? So again, our backline is sound. It's definitely better than yours, even with the injuries, mate. So look after your fridge. We'll worry about us. Don't laugh at 6-1 to avoid karma. Fuck off. Well, if United lose 6-1, I'm going to be back on here laughing my ass off again, over and over and over. And that won't stop. And I don't give a shit about karma, mate. Should we change formation to compensate the injury situation? We've kind of already changed formation, so are we going to go with the 4-2-2-2 or the 4-2-3-1 or whichever way you want to call that out? If Thiago's available, I think that is the system we will play with. Maybe Naby Keita or Shaqiri at the tip of that diamond or in the attacking midfield role, with Diogo Jota, Sadio Mane and Roberto Firmino through the centre, I would imagine. That's I think why that system was designed, probably to get the best out of Thiago, to give Liverpool another attacking dimension, because I don't want to say we're one or two dimensional, but we use our centre backs, we use our full backs for a lot of our attacking, and we don't go through the midfield very often. With Thiago in there, that would obviously give us that ability to go through midfield and give us another dimension to our attack. Okay, Phil Jones is the GOAT. I'm so sorry to hear that you're battling depression, mate. You said you've been seeing doctors and it doesn't help. Well, it's important that you go back to your doctor, mate, and let them know that you're still feeling down. I don't know what your situation is. I can tell you from my own situation, when I was really, really down not so long ago, and publicly you've seen that, I went to my doctor as well. I got some antidepressants. They've taken 3 or 4 weeks to kick in, but they have kicked in, and it has helped me massively. So I hope that you persist with visiting your doctor, mate, and be honest with them. Don't lie to them. Don't say to them you're feeling good if you're not. It's okay to feel down, buddy. And your pals here are always here for you to provide love and support with you, or to you, mate. And I just wish you... It's a difficult time we're going through, buddy. I mean, as I said before, a lot of people feeling shit they've never felt before in what is a crazy time right now for the whole world, man. So you're not alone. You're never alone. Don't give up, pal. Just keep talking to your GP. Keep talking to your doctors. And just remember, there will be better days ahead, man. I can promise you that. There will be. You're talking to somebody who's lost both of his parents. One committed suicide. One drank himself to death. I could tell you so many things about my life, man, that, you know, would let you know, don't give up. I never thought I'd be sitting here. I never thought I'd have 57,000 subscribers. I never thought a company like Boyle Sports would come on board and sponsor us. And again, just go back and look at the video where I said I'm leaving. I came on and I was in tears and I was in a really bad place. And thanks to you guys, doctors, family, I'm here now and I'm feeling much better than I did, man. So all I can say to you is look after yourself and don't give up, pal. What else we got? Small recap. There isn't really much to recap, man. We're just having a chat tonight. It's a bit of a different stream. We're just talking about what's going on, the injury situations and things like that. Nothing massive. Tom said, I love the way other clubs fans are so involved in what's happening at Liverpool. We're so in their heads, it's mad. Look, they're going to try and seize on any negative aspect going around Liverpool, mate. An injury, a VAR decision, anything that they can try and jump on to find weakness in Liverpool, they're going to do. And that only happens when you're right at the top, man, and when people are worried about you. So you're right, yeah. Let them. We'll worry about us. Let them do whatever they want to do. But I don't pay attention to a damn thing opposition fans have to say. It doesn't interest me in the slightest. Of course, if they come into our chat, they're very welcome and will interact. But when they're trying to knock us, don't buy into it. Don't buy. Let them be obsessed. Let them worry about us. They should be worrying about us, quite frankly. Do you think we'll sign a defender, or we won't sign a defender until the summer? Maybe it's just optimism, mate, but I hope we get something done in January. But I do understand if Klopp wants a particular player and that player isn't available in January, you know, Klopp will wait for the player that he wants. But again, we'll have to wait and see. Back four on Sunday. I would imagine... Who was this the last? Sorry. Charlotte. I hope I pronounced Charlotte. I hope I pronounced that correct. Sorry. I think ROBBO will be fit. ROBBO, Matip, Fabinho, Milner would be my guess for the back four. Craig, I know you've been asked this question a lot, but Ronaldo or Messi? Messi. Every day of the week for me, mate. I mean... I don't even know how it's a conversation, if I'm being honest. I don't know how it's a debate. It's Lionel Messi every day of the week. Cristiano Ronaldo is a phenomenon. He is without a doubt the second best player of our generation and deserves all the accolades and all the praise that comes his way. But Lionel Messi is the most gifted footballer of our generation, without a doubt. Cristiano Ronaldo deserves massive credit in a different way because he trained and worked and dedicated himself to his craft to get the very, very most out of his career. And again, you got to just massively respect him, but it's Messi. It's got to be Messi. Are we back? I think we're back now. Sorry. No, I think we're back now. It did die there for a second, but I think we're back now. Give me a thumbs up if everything's okay. It's back. Sorry, I don't know what's going on. We do have a new router coming to our house tomorrow, by the way, and I have a new PC. Well, I say new. Connor found a PC in his gaff and we're refurbishing it to try and stop this from happening. So look, as I said to you guys before, I could probably do with spending money on a new laptop, but I ain't got the money to spend on a new laptop, so I'm trying to rejig things to keep these streams going along. So I do apologise for that interruption. Hopefully it won't be happening soon because we're trying to sort out a new laptop. We need something really powerful. I have a MacBook Pro. That's what I actually use for these, but even that isn't powerful enough to do what we need to do with the stream. So I apologise for that little interruption there. And somebody said you're the nicest YouTuber ever. I've got my moments, man, but I can also be an absolute dick as well, particularly when we're live playing games. I turn into a different person when the Reds are in action. But look, again, I apologise, and I hope to get these little issues sorted out soon. I should be able to maybe buy a new computer the other side of Christmas, but you know, we'll save up and we'll do our best. But look, thank you for all your kind words, and Joanne as well, thank you very much for the super sticker. People need to like the video for Craig more. Come on, yes, please do like the video, subscribe to the channel if you have enjoyed the stream. I'm going to be back tomorrow, ladies and gents, and Mark will be with me, so I apologise for tonight if anyone was tuning in thinking Mark was going to be with us tonight. Unfortunately, Mark had double booked himself, and look, happens all the time, I forget about stuff as well. So Mark will be joining me tomorrow. We'll have a chat around VAR. I'll ask him from a United point of view what's going on in the season, and lots of other stuff as well. So look, ladies and gentlemen, lots of love to each and every one of you. Be well, be safe. Thank you for giving up some of your time this evening. And I will chat to you wonderful people tomorrow. The good news is, next weekend, the Reds will be back in action. We've gotten through the first weekend of the international break. We'll get through this next game, and I will see you wonderful people tomorrow.